Dr. Exwilneth's 3 hearts nearly stopped beating when the environmental systems on Research Station Kepler 442b began their catastrophic cascade failure. The temperature readings on her biosuit's display were dropping faster than her species' mathematical comprehension could process. Emergency protocols activated. The station's AI announced with mechanical calm. External temperature, minus 47 degrees Celsius and falling. Estimated time to total system failure, 14 minutes. Around her, the mixed species research team was already showing signs of thermal distress. The Zephyrian delegates had entered emergency hibernation mode, their crystalline forms dimming to conserve energy. The aquatic Veltari were frantically sealing themselves into heated emergency pods. Even the hardy Kron warriors, evolved from desert predators, were shivering uncontrollably. Only the humans seemed unbothered. "Well, this is inconvenient," muttered Dr. Sarah Mitchell, the expedition's climatologist, as she calmly continued reviewing her data tablets. She had removed her thermal regulation suit entirely, working in standard research attire while frost began forming on the laboratory walls around her. Exwilneth's vocal chambers clicked in bewilderment. "Dr. Mitchell, your species' survival parameters indicate that temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius should trigger immediate physiological shutdown. How are you still conscious?" Sarah looked up from her work, genuinely puzzled. 0 degrees? That's just the freezing point of water. It's not even properly cold yet. Not properly cold? Exwilneth's biosuit registered her mounting panic as the temperature continued its relentless descent. "The atmospheric moisture is crystallizing. Your breath is forming visible vapor clouds." "Yeah, that happens," nodded Dr. James Park, another human researcher, as he casually stepped outside onto the station's observation deck, where the temperature had plummeted to minus 60 degrees. He wasn't even wearing gloves. "Back home, we call this sweater weather in some places." The alien observers watched in horrified fascination as Park began manually cranking the backup power generator, a task that required significant physical exertion in subarctic conditions that should have killed him within minutes. "This is impossible," wheezed Commander Thrixval through his emergency respirator. His scales had turned a sickly blue-white color. "Our xenobiology databases indicate that carbon-based life forms cannot maintain cellular function at these temperatures." That's when Chief Engineer Elena Rodriguez emerged from the station's lower levels, where the temperature sensors had stopped functioning after registering minus 72 degrees. She was not only alive but appeared to be sweating. "Found the problem," she announced cheerfully, ice crystals forming in her hair. "Coolant leak in the primary thermal exchange. I got a jury rigged, but we'll need to fabricate new coupling seals." "You were in the sub-basement for 47 minutes. Exwilneth's voice was barely a whisper. "Our instruments recorded temperatures that would flash freeze most known biological compounds." Elena shrugged, pulling off her work jacket to reveal that she was wearing only a light shirt underneath. "It was chilly, sure, but I've worked construction in Minnesota winters. This is nothing compared to ice fishing season." Dr. Mitchell looked up from her continued research. Somehow her fingers were still functioning well enough to operate delicate instruments. "You have to understand, our planet has polar regions where the temperature regularly drops to minus 40 without any technological assistance. We have entire cities built in those regions." "Cities?" Thrixval's mandibles clicked weakly. "Permanent settlements? Millions of people." Park called out from where he was now welding repair joints barehanded in the minus 70-degree air. "Some of our most popular recreational activities involve deliberately exposing ourselves to these conditions. We call it winter sports." The revelation that followed was perhaps more disturbing than humanity's casual disregard for lethal temperatures. When the alien delegation accessed human cultural databases, they discovered something that would reshape their understanding of Deathworld evolution. Humans didn't just survive freezing conditions, they enjoyed them. Images of humans deliberately jumping into frozen lakes, building temporary shelters out of ice blocks for fun, and engaging in competitive activities on frozen surfaces filled their displays. Most terrifying of all were the historical records showing humans crossing entire continents on foot through frozen wastelands, not as desperate survival attempts, but as routine transportation. Dr. Mitchell, XYLNF, asked weekly as the station's temperature finally stabilized at a comfortable -20 degrees, "What do your species consider genuinely cold?" Sarah paused her work, considering the question seriously. "Well, liquid nitrogen is pretty chilly. But even then, we figure out how to work with it safely." As the human crew continued their repairs in conditions that had reduced the galaxy's hardiest species to near hibernation, one truth became abundantly clear to the alien observers. Earth hadn't just produced survivors. It had produced a species that treated cosmic-level environmental hazards as minor seasonal variations.